Hello and welcome to Focus on Liberia. I'm Ansony Sieh, hosting as always, broadcasting from our headquarters in Atlanta. This is the Hour of Politics with me, Ansony Sieh. Always your host. Welcome. Woo! Somebody was telling me, Dennis, you always say every show is special. And so I'm like, oh, is that what I say all the time? The person said, yeah, every show you say is special. And of course, Dennis, every show is special. Sometimes the guest is different. Sometimes the topic is different. So every show is special. Welcome to Liberians across the globe to focus on Liberia today, Hour of Politics. Uh, Today, the topic is political. I have a guest who is the Chief Executive Officer of this platform, Mr. Dennis Jah, first appearing on the Hour of Politics as guest. Dennis, welcome to the Hour of Politics. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much. I get to ask the question most of the time, so it's a very uncomfortable seat now, being in the hot seat and being asked the questions, especially when you meet the political bulldog on the Hour of Politics. So I'm excited to be here. I'm nervous, and I don't know what I'm gonna say. Maybe I don't know. In the middle, will I be asking questions or be answering? I don't know yet, but let's do it.
Let's do this. Dennis, you are only here to answer questions. Folks in cyberspace, the topic for today, the ANC-Global Charlotte Convention. The ANC invited Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia were represented by Dennis Jah, a member of this platform, who happen to be the leader here, by the way. And so in this edition, Dennis will be making a report. He will also be doing analysis of all the things that he saw happening at the convention, while I will be asking him some questions and seeking answers. And some of the questions will be questions many Liberians have on their minds. So the show is divided into segments. We will look at experiences leading to the convention. We will look at all that happened at the convention, Dennis's observation, and of course, what everything about the Charlotte Convention says about the ANC and the ANC Global. Again, welcome. Please do that usual favor. Hit the share button. Let's get started. And so, Dennis, you were invited. Not you, but Focus on Liberia was invited. Your schedule could allow you to represent, our network. And you went there and you said you have a report to give. I will give you some time to do your report. But before you can do your report, Dennis, why a report? I mean, all media
Well,
institutions went there. Hold on, Dennis, don't rush.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. I'm hot.
I see that you are anxious, Dennis. So a lot of media institutions were, invited. I have not heard any report from them. What is different with Focus on Liberia, for which you have to make a report?
Well, first of all, I've been one of those who have been saying that when people have these events,
Mhm.
okay, being an alumni association, a county association, be able to open it up, invite other people.
Mhm.
For instance, you have, let's say, University of Liberia Alumni Association having their convention,
Right.
and they have their election commission. Everybody comes from in there. Their media is in there. They are the one. The debate is being organized, and I'm just using UL as an example. But almost every institution, everything is within.
Mhm.
Okay, we have media institutions in the diaspora that could be invited to maybe interview or host the debate, things like that. So
Mhm.
I was excited when ANC-Global, through their leadership, thought it wise that they invite Focus on Liberia and other media institutions to be able to witness, cover, attend their event. And so I like that. I really, really applaud them for opening up, because rarely we see other institutions. The last time the CDC convention was right here in Atlanta, and they are the one conducting everything. Everything is just within. Invite someone else, invite a media institution to host the debate for your candidates. We see that with the Democratic or Republican Party.
Right.
They themselves don't do their debate. So,
No, not at all.
right. So, one reason why I thought we should talk about this and make a report is, first of all, to appreciate what ANC-Global has done, and to make this as an example that, hey, this is what you need to do. Invite other people and let them see what you're up to. And in Liberia, most of the time we want to do things behind the house or hang hay, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So it is, I could call, the chairman, Lord Morgan, and say, hey, my man, I love your convention, XYZ, or call Wanty Clark, who was the coordinator, or call the secretary or the publicity committee and say, this is my feedback on the convention. That's the Liberian way of always hanging heads, right? Talking behind the house.
Right.
But I thought that we should make this public. Let me give you my feedback openly, my impression, what I like, what I didn't like so much, and what message is going to send out to other political parties, organizations, and the rest of it. So I thought it's very important that we do this, and we give it the notice and the attention it deserves.
Thank you so very much. And then I also want to, could it also be the fact that ANC Global / ANC is more like a public kind of institution, right? Everything about politics is public. And so when they invite you to what is a public event as a media institution, it's good to make a report that is public, be a report in a broadcast form or rating. It also has to be public. Could that be one of the reasons you say, hey, they got to be in a report and not calling somebody on his side and say, hey, I think it was good. I think this is where you didn't do good enough. I think this. Was that also one of the things you factor into the decision?
Precisely, and you are right. You are right. That's one of the things, right? Because this, we all call on these institutions to be transparent. Okay, what is it that you are doing? Open your books and let's see. So we too have to be transparent. You went there, for instance. I arrived there, at the place. I arrived there late, right? So let me be able to come up and say it like, hey, I was late, and because of that, I didn't get a seat. I was standing up. That way we are all transparent. Am I taking too long to answer the question? Because I too don't like people staying long. So cut me off if I'm doing too long.
Yeah, I will surely do so, because you always telling people, hey, you have 2 minutes, and that is a lot of time to answer questions. So, but then let's go into your report. I will give you some time, maybe 10 minutes or so. Make your report. What did you see at the convention that you want to share with Liberians across the globe to know?
First of all, I want to give a little background, because anytime these political events happen or take place, I take it seriously because of the background where we're coming from.
Okay.
Our history is replete with bad stuff, with upheavals, being it wars, fight, and all these things coming out of the issue of leadership and governance.
Okay.
So when political, especially people who want to lead our country, meet, I take that seriously. It's a life and death situation for me. So it is no laughing matter. It is not joke. People that want to be leader, and 2 reasons: our history of upheavals, and also currently where we are as a nation. Things are really bad, Mr. Sieh, in the country, being it on the economic side, social is like there's a degeneration of the social fabrics of our society. The economy is bad. Our school system is bad. I mean, things are just going from worse to ridiculous.
Security, Dennis. Don't forget security.
I mean, all the things. You cannot really find a bright spot when it comes to what is going on. So when we talk about leadership in this country, that's serious matter, and I take it very seriously. So I thought that we should do this to be able to say, hey, this is serious, and we take it seriously, and we must give it the attention it deserves. So we got an invitation from ANC-Global inviting us. Right. There were some little issues with the letter. For instance, the name focus on Liberia was mistaken for focus on Africa, which we try to correct. These are some minor little things.
Are you killing me?
Yeah, that was a mistake. But I alerted the committee that, hey, you have a typo in our name. We should be focused on Liberia, not focused on Africa. And also, we've been invited as guests, so I needed a little clarity. So we got on the phone and hashed these things out and say, okay, we will be expecting that to form part of the letter. And they assured me that they were going to write that letter and make it plain, so that, because I don't want to take something to our board of advisors that is, that says focus on Africa and then inviting us as guests. But clearly they told us on the phone that, hey, we want you to cover our event. But we waited for that letter. We didn't get it. I didn't make a big deal out of that. We still went there and be able to be part of it. And I tell you, man, whenever Liberians are meeting, that's the place you want to be. Our country is a small country. We are so interrelated that there is no gathering you will go to without meeting people of your kind, maybe from the same neighborhood, from the same state, from the same high school. And so I was happy. I met people, in fact, from my same high school, people from our community here in Atlanta, or Metro Atlanta, and people you haven't seen before. And it was so great that you met people that have been watching you over TV and say, oh, you are Dennis Jan. You were able to put kind of the face to the name.
For the name.
And, yeah, so it was exciting for me, and I like that. So we went, and it was a 3-day convention. It started with Friday, that was the meet and greet. Saturday, that was the business meeting in a day, and at night, it was the ball. So I attended the business meeting, part of the business meeting, because I drove there. I left, so arrived at the business meeting again, little late because of some mix-up in the schedule. I actually went to the convention site thinking that, because that was the address, but there were some issues there, but I still arrived. And in the evening, at night, we went to the actual ball, and the pomp and pageantry. I mean, it was just great. I love that. The few things I want to touch on, my general impression of this. To me, the convention was not different from what I've been to when it comes to those things that took place. If you went to a high school reunion, if you went to your county organization reunion, or you went to our community event, normally they are divided into 3, right? You have the meet and greet, you have the business meeting, you have the ball, and then the following day, that's their farewell cookout. I was looking for something a little different, since this was perhaps my first political event.
Right.
Yes, this is a political event. I was expecting.
You sure that was your first political event?
For a political party.
Okay.
Yeah, for a Liberian political event.
Okay.
Yeah, I have really tried to keep away from that. We should go to this event.
Okay.
We are all Liberians, and then you see people that are passionate about their country. They want change, like yesterday. And so if we may be approaching these things from different angles, but if we all come together, because we all want the same thing for our country, except that maybe the vehicles are all different. So it was very good that I went there. So it was not something much out of the ordinary. I saw the same itinerary, right? Meet and greet, business meeting, ball, and the farewell cookout. Food, the music, the bar, the liquor, the drinks, and everything.
Grand March.
What?
Grand March.
Yes, the Grand March, and all these things, they were all the same. Okay, during the program, you see a lot of people standing, there are no seats. You see this selling of alcohol going on in the back. There's a little noise. People are saying, hey, calm down, calm down. All these things that are typical at these Liberian events were all present. You have the keynote speaker, you have the political leaders. All these things were there. You have an MC, you have the Grand March, most of our activities. And Grand March is not new, right? Grand March has been there for ever so long. You have the political leader delivering a speech. And again, This was a political event. It looked more like any one of those reunions, where
Okay.
people go there and have fun. You have the serious stuff though, but you mainly fun time, right? So I saw that. I wanted more of politics, right? I wanted a little more politics,
So are
little
you
more.
saying it was mainly dominated by fun and pageantry instead of serious political stuff and speeches?
I would say so. I would say so, and it was dominated by this pomp and pageantry. I mean, the elegance. I love to see people dance, So those kind of things. There were speeches, and there was almost something like a kind of political rally
Mhm.
about. I also saw that these things are centered, mainly Liberian political parties are centered around one person. So you see a central figure in Mr. Alexander Cummings being
Mhm.
celebrated, right? Which is not a bad thing, but at a political event like that, you want to see more of other areas or other people giving speeches, right? Because first of all, let's come to the theme of the convention. What was the theme? This was the
Okay.
inauguration of ANC-Global. They elected their leaders. I understood most of them or all of them were on white ballot, unopposed. You would notice that since COVID, there has not been that much enthusiasm when it comes to these Liberian organization, people kind of competing. So
Mhm.
even in our community here at Atlanta, there was white ballot that was cast, for the lead for all the leaders except for the board of directors. I think just
It
one
seems to
person.
be white battle is becoming the order of the day in the
Right.
entire Liberian community.
Either these guys are so good that nobody wants to challenge them, or people are not
I
excited
just
about
doubt
this
it,
thing.
Dennis. I just doubt it. Well, they are not that good.
I'm speculating. I don't know, but white ballots are common.
Mhm.
So I saw that, and that white ballot, that was something striking. But I wanted to see people from diverse backgrounds. First of all, the theme of the convention. What message they were trying to get out. What was the message of the convention? You know, like even those of us that were invited, what was done to tell, okay, who are you inviting? Who should come cover this? Who should attend? What are you trying to get out of every person that you're trying to bring to this convention?
Right.
What's the message? You know, it was kind of lost for me. I didn't see that central theme, and it could be there. I'm not saying that it was not there at all, but I didn't really see it. I saw, the invitation. I saw also the invitees. You know, like Mr. Cummings. He had the guest speaker, Mayor Wilmot Collins.
Mhm.
You have the MC of the program, Mr. Reverend Levi Martin.
Mhm.
You know, let me say that the ANC for some time have been looked at as a group of elites, you know, people well-to-do, especially the American group. So when I see a program like that where you have Mayor Collins, who is a mayor of an American city,
Mhm.
and and I see Reverend Levi Martin, another eloquent guy who some term as elite. If I see all this as the face of the convention or the speakers or the people that you will see, I'm like, this is feeding into the people's perception of you. So maybe you could have mixed it up a bit. So for speakers, I wanted to see. Take for instance the guy who has the public relation, Mr. Yangwa Boma.
Yeah, Mr.
This
Bowman,
guy has, yeah, Mr. Boma has written a book about the behavior of Liberian presidents.
presidents. Yeah.
I wanted to see someone like that giving a short, maybe 5 to 10 minute speech, talking about the behavior of president and how ANC is going to be different.
Okay.
There's an issue of Zogos, drug use,
Mhm.
uh, trauma in the country.
Okay.
I would love to see someone like Dr. Francine Chenoweth Richardson coming up with a short speech
Mhm.
highlighting that issue and stating something that would become the ANC position, right?
Yeah.
Because these are the pain points in the country. These are the issues that are affecting the ordinary people in the country. So if
Exactly.
you kind of focus those issues, and that tells the people that you care about them. and then you see how those things can be resolved. It tells the people also that ANC is thinking about them, and then when they come to power, they're going to do something about them.
And Dennis, if I may add to your list, you have somebody like Ava Tuba, who has been a political guy.
Right.
Politically, our country is at a crossroad. He could have delivered a maybe 10-minute message, all right, on the ANC position on the politics of the day, how our country democracy is at this point, right? And if I may add again, somebody could even give a position, maybe among them who is an economist, to talk about the economy. Now we have a budget that is in $700 million, something we have not seen before, for ANC to have used that because it was a major platform and they needed to use that to show the contracts. And you, from what you said earlier that you analyzed later, it was dominated by pageantry and fundraiser and women elegantly dressed and men as well and grand matches. So looking at that, let me bring you in as you do your analysis and report how all that align with the ANC mantra, of not doing the same thing or doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. We saw grand match. Let me show you a picture quickly here, Dennis. Our old man, William V.S. Todman, leading a grand match. There you have it, folks. This is William V.S. Todman leading a grand match. I don't want to tell you about grand matches in every organization. And you said this thing here is like a life and death situation when it comes to leadership.
And that is very correct. That's why I take this seriously. And nothing against grand matches, but
not at all.
Yeah, but this thing should take a back seat for a while so that we can talk the serious stuff. And we're talking about people because when I got at the place there, people came to me, people who recognize me, those I recognize, and we're talking about FOL. And I mean, there was a tremendous outpour of love for FOL and what we do here. So we decided to talk about this issue. I met Mr. Leonard Perkins. This guy is environmental engineer or something in that line, right? And he liked the program we had on sanitation because that's his area. And he has gone at the top of his game when it comes to environmental engineering.
Right.
Someone like that, we have a trash issue in the country.
Exactly.
We have pollution. Someone like that could deliver a 5 or 10-minute speech about the issue of water, land, and air pollution and what can be done. That tells us that the ANC has a team. It is not just one person. Because what I saw is the celebration of this one central figure, which is Mr. Cummings.
Right.
I mean, bright guy, could make a very good leader. But one
we don't know that for a fact, Dennis. We don't know that for a fact. But
well, I mean, I've worked with him here. I've been in a room with him where he asks those questions when we are talking about stuff, right, in our community. But I'm saying one person can run a government, right? One person cannot run, a whole country.
One person does not have all the ideas for all the sectors, right?
I was talking with another guy, Mr. Freeman. Mr. Freeman has a very big plan for agriculture. He said, Dennis, right now we have like 600 acres of land in Cape Mount where we want to plant rice alone. But when things have come into fruition, I'm going to come on your show and talk about these. I mean, I think someone like that should talk about agriculture.
You should have been given 10 minutes to deliver a speech on agriculture.
Yes. So when people, because we all watch the conventions right here in the United States, and we see different people, even those that have nothing to do with politics. People are working, in their own NGOs, humanitarian areas, because this should be multifaceted, right? This is a big country with all kinds of needs. So we should see people coming together, people from education, giving their little 2 cents.
Yeah,
that will tell us that hey, ANC is serious. This is a whole team, because I'm telling you, these guys are brilliant. Liberians are brilliant people. And you could see from the convention, even people that are interacted with, that these people, they have ideas. But it seems to me, I could be wrong, that everybody buries their idea under the super political leader.
Yeah.
And we have a problem of imperial presidency in our country, where the president is the almighty King Kong. So
And
why
Dennis,
do we? What,
I'm not stopping you, and this is why, the idea of joining a political party nowadays is just a waste of time, right? And you think people who know better will demand better every day when they are part of these institutions. Let's look at an example you gave about Mr. Boardman, who wrote a book about the behavior of Liberian past president. I mean, had he given a speech on that, how ANC will be different. The Zoko issue you mentioned, if Dr. Frances had given a statement on that, and maybe, I think we need to make the emphasis, because let me share this with you quickly, Denzel, as you conclude your report here and analysis. I've had an opportunity to be with the Democratic Party. I always attend caucus, right? It's one of the most interesting things. During caucus, the issues are brought to those who are attending caucus. The issues are tallied. The issues are voted upon, and those issues become the platform of the Democratic Party. So maybe that was an opportunity for the ANC to raise their positions, to make their position known on all these key sectors and areas where they want to provide leadership, where we have problems that they believe they have solutions for, to have highlighted those issues. But at the end of the day, they were looking up to that one almighty man, Alice Cummings. They made him look like he have all the ideas and is surrounding all the ideas. And then a speaker, who he's then connected to Liberia. This guy is disconnected from Liberia. I'm making that criticism. But let me allow you to conclude your report, because I got my questions here. I haven't started yet. Go ahead. You are muted there, Dennis.
Right. Thank you. And there was also the fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
There was fundraiser, and they were raising big money. I saw people coming up, we pledged 1,000. This person will give, not pledge, give 1,000. They say, hey, send it to the Cash App, 1,000. And there was one guy, 200,000. So they told me that this was a fundraiser. And so, people started raising money, each chapter. I think these chapters have been pre-taxed. They say, hey, you have to pay this amount at the convention. So these chapters are being taxed, and some say on top of what we are paying, we are giving this extra amount. So I saw people giving money, So the fundraiser was good. The message on the fundraiser. So what I want to see next about that is, this idea of transparency.
Mm-hmm.
We want to focus on that money trail. I don't think that there should be a problem with that. Maybe not. But there should be, we should follow that trail and see where that money is going and how it's being used. On the fundraiser, when I was going to the convention, people were talking about there's $100 at the gate, and there are people who are paying $1,000 ticket. And if that ticket qualifies you to see the PL and sit with him and all that. So that was.
So when you said PL, some people were paying $1,000 just to meet Cummings and shake his hand.
It was partly, I think people do that in the States and other places where you pay some money and you want to see, the.
Yeah, that is true. It's done here in the US.
So I think they did some of that. So there was a lot of big money going around. People say, but why should Mr. Cummings raise money? I thought he was a millionaire already. So why is he asking us for our little money? Let him be like Cassell, just giving money here and there. Cassell has a helicopter, so why is he? But I don't.
That is the idea of raising money may not be bad, though. May not be bad. It's not bad at all, because people who are part of their institutions, and if they have a central figure now coming who they supporting for president, they need to put their money where their mouth is, right?
Yeah, they should, because a lot of these political parties is one person, it's in one person's pocket, and that's why we end up with these perpetual standard bearers, aka political leaders. They are there for life because they have the money. People are not contributing. In fact, you are expecting money from the standard bearer. So, if he's paying for you, if he's paying everything for you, come on, whatever he says, that's what you do.
Exactly.
And maybe that's one reason why everybody in the ANC that I saw kind of bury their talents and what they bring to the table, politically. Because you will notice that a lot of people go outside the party to find vice president. I mean, since post-war Liberia, people go outside their parties for vice president. I thought you should be raising everybody in there. But if everybody put their political aspiration on ice because you have this one political giant, you can't find a political and a vice president from your own party. When the late Councillor Brumskin died, the LP is not able to put out a presidential candidate for the first time in almost 20 years.
And I'm not sure when he was alive, he had picked all his vice presidential running mate from his party all the time.
Outside
And
the party.
and when Bwaka came, Bwaka too did not do that. I'm not sure Sononte was part of the ANC when he was picked by Mr. Cummings. I'm not sure of that. I may be wrong.
No, he wasn't. He was in fact running. He was about to run, to contest.
Okay.
So he wasn't. So on the big money, it was a kind of double-edged thing, right? So yes, they should give money, but the big money that was being raised, I don't know to what extent small donors, people that have their $5, $10 could even want to make themselves shame. So maybe the big money could be because those are special events where for fundraiser, but maybe they try to combine everything. And doing that kind of big fundraiser at a regular convention may kind of put people say, these are rich people. So my little $5, let me put it back in my pocket.
Yeah, we got big guys here already giving money. And then let me ask the question on the big money thing, right? So these are individuals that gather, that have, individuals there also with big pockets giving big money. To the ordinary man, is he feeling now that maybe I don't belong here? Is that what somebody who is an ordinary person might be thinking?
Kind of, especially if you are in Liberia thinking about your $5 for credit on your card, and you see somebody giving 1,000, you just already we have this almighty America mentality,
right?
And one negative thing, money is good. The Bible says money answers everything. Yeah, but with someone giving 20,000, it will tell that, okay, maybe is this a pay to play scam here? Because this guy who is paying 20,000, who is giving 20,000, and say, I challenge anyone, if you match this, I'm making 40,000. And it's a good thing. The party needs the money. But when Mr. Cummings becomes president, what is this guy going to want, right? Because I remember,
is he going to get whatever he wants because he gave the biggest donation or the biggest contribution?
Because we heard that about President Weah, right? He said when he got in power and we saw people like
Emmanuel Shaw,
Charles Bright, Archibald Bernard, and all that. So his colleague was saying, wait a minute, we never saw these guys in the trenches. And according to the story, they say President Weah told them, wait now, you think that the Munya make us to win? It's the money. Yeah. So in other words, people that were making the big donation, these are the people that I'm having here. It's good that you were in the trenches, Munya, but Munya alone cannot cut it. So when I look at this guy paying 20,000 at a convention, and you look probably 40,000 somewhere else, I'm saying, could we enter the same Emmanuel Shaw Weah scenario where this guy, the people that pay the big money will be the one calling the shots?
And then it's talking about the big money also. Could it be something positive for the ANC in the sense that many people in Liberia are poor? Hearing about an institution that is raising big money, they might say, well, that is the place I want to be because those people got money. even if I'm say I call on one of them, they might be able to come to my aid because they have the money. Could that play to their favor, or is there any danger there that somebody have already developed the notion based on what they've heard that the people have money, and then maybe they ask somebody and then they don't contribute, say, these people, I don't think they care about me, because we heard story about one, what's his name, Bwema, JB Bwema, who said he was trying to be with Cummings, but Cummings was not looking after the welfare of his supporters, so he walked away. He said that on this platform. So looking at that, could that play to the advantage and disadvantage?
That's what I said originally, that it's a two-edged sword kind of thing, right? Because maybe that could be done, no, I don't want to say secretly, but outside such a meeting, right? But again, these political leaders or these political parties should make their report. Let's see what's going in. Because someone in Liberia who is depending on the political leader for support, for daily sustenance, will say, oh, but then the people got money. Yeah. So why should we, in fact, we are expecting, because when you go to Liberia, those who have run campaigns in Liberia tell me that the people are expecting from you. You know, just look at the whole idea in America. Santa is the one that gave gifts. In Liberia, Santa or Omen Baker is the one that received gifts. Same with the political parties. Political party is the political leader or the person who is running for office. He or she have to give the money. Here they took donors, you know, small donors. And to his credit, Darius Dillon did some of that, where people kind of donated small money, even though we heard after the elections that there were other big donors that were not announced. But again, it comes to this, we have no, it's only on paper. People don't report. So let me conclude here, you know, a little bit. I also want to recognize the hard work of the people on the convention. I mean, Liberians work very hard. And because I've been part of sometimes organizing some of these events, I know how hard it is. I mean, you will have all the 100 people part of this thing, but only 20 are working. And the rest will wait for the night and dress up. Even after the program, nobody will clean up. So when I see this kind of thing, I say, oh, these people are working hard. Especially, I was surprised, right? Because I'm coming from Metro Atlanta that we're so far apart. So I was expecting Charlotte to be a little closer. But the distances were a little, you know, little bit longer than I expected. Okay. But these people were working hard. I met Wanty Clark, you know, who was the coordinator. I mean, she was lively. But you could tell that she was just working hard. And I really appreciate such a hard work. And they were all, you know, kind of making sure things go on correctly. And that was commendable. Imagine, you know, after the program, you drive to the other side, clean up. In fact, when I went by mistake, went to the convention hall during regular hours, I met people there working. And so Liberians work hard, and Liberians can party too. I mean, I don't know if I told you that there was coconut candy at the place. I have not seen that for a long time. Okay. Another thing I saw at the place there, I thought Mr. Cummings, the political leader, who was the center of attraction, I hope they kind of spread out a little bit. I saw even on the little goodie bag, his picture was on there. Not a bad thing, but we are trying to fight against this imperial presidency. We don't want to create an imperial political leader that everything starts and ends.
We already have in the ANC, same as every other political party. They're doing the same thing over and over. Go ahead.
And that's the point of this report, right? Because this is not any knock on ANC as a political party. This is what all of them do. Our alumni association, all these people do the same thing. ANC being the alternative national congress, that's why we're expecting a little more. And I know these guys that are at the leadership, right? They're bright guys. You know, so I was expecting something a little more. I was expecting, for instance, Mr. Alexander Cummings, the political leader, to maybe get the guest list from those organizing the event and go around and shake hands with people, you know, those you recognize. Hey, thank you for coming. Thank you. Oh, yes, thank you for coming. You use that because that's why in America say work the room. I expected him to work the room. But he was little, I don't want to say detached, but little too focused on the platform where he was. I wanted to see more engagement from him. Those he recognized, those he made not. But that's why you get the list. Because where I work, I have my chief medical officer. That guy knows everybody in the company. I started as a trainer. I used to go around the country train. He has a white boy in his office. He knows everybody where you are, because if I was in Florida at a doctor office training, that guy knows. He met some people at the airport and he called them by name and asked them how they did at XYZ practice. They were shocked. They were blown away. How did he know? I'm just a little guy in this company. And this chief knows where I am at this time. I expected that from Mr. Comey because he's been, in corporate America. He knows how to navigate these kind of spaces. And last but not the least on my report is thank you notes go a very long way. I personally received a call, say, hey, from the coordinator, say, oh, thank you for coming. That was good. And if they did that to all their invitees and their guests, that'd be commendable. A little thank you note, it shows how deeply you appreciate your guests. So, if they have not done so already, it's not still late to do that. And again, I'm just using ANC or ANC-Global as an example, but this is how I feel that things should be for all these political parties, these political events. So I'm not really picking on ANC. It just happened to be that the one I attended, and I have to make my observation.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Dennis Jada, with his report and analysis on the ANC-Global convention that was held this gone weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, now that Dennis has done his report and analysis, it is about time that I asking some questions. Dennis, let's get to it here so that we can involve our audience.
Right. And Mr. Sieh, before you come in, I just want to say that what I've said, what I've observed, I'm just one person. I'm a human being, right? I could be wrong, completely wrong. So I want to be challenged, right? If you didn't see it that way, tell me. That's how I saw it, and that's what I saw. And I have a few more things to say, but that's what I saw. And I want people to be open. I'm not saying this because maybe I hate ANC or hate what they do. I believe that all of these political parties, they are for the good of Liberia and Liberians. So we should be able to give our feedback so that they can use that positively and make improvement. If I'm all wrong, also I'm open, come and say it and let's talk.
Dennis, you said that these political leaders, or political parties are for the good of Liberia. I think you should say they should be good for Liberia or should be for the good of Liberia. I'm not sure they are. There's a difference there. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, I look for the good in everybody until they come up to be otherwise, because I see what these people are saying. They mean well. I don't think even as bad as the current leaders are performing, I don't think they really leave their home and go to work, say, today I'm going to go to work to spoil things. I think they mean well. It's just maybe they don't know how to do it. They don't have
that's why they don't mean well. If you don't know how to do it and you want to do it, you ask for it, you have it, you're blundering, then you don't mean well. Dennis, let me come to my question here. Focus on Liberia, the hour of politics with Ansony Sieh. My guest today is my big brother and boss, Dennis Wakukenjuja, who just attended the ANC Global Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. He had just made his report and analysis, and you listen to Dennis. He's a human being. He could be completely wrong and that he should be challenged. And so let's get into my questioning here. Dennis, focus on Liberia was invited, right? Do you think that because you sell it, right, was the institution invited appropriately? And then two, did the ANC reply to the email you have sent to them seeking clarifications? And I also want to know, did you make further steps after they did not reply to your communication for the corrections to be made?
Yeah, that I wanted to kind of address with the group,
Mhm.
because when I got the letter that dear Dennis Jar, focus on Africa, you are invited as guest. I talked to the coordinator and said, "Oh, sorry, we're going to change that." After some time, when I didn't get that change, I
Mhm.
called. No, I sent an email. I wanted to be on record. I say, "Hey, the focus on Liberia, not focus on Africa." And also, you say guest. What role you want us to play? Please clarify. And are you inviting me as an individual or focus on Liberia? So we got on the phone on a three with the chairman, the secretary, the coordinator, and say, "Hey, we are inviting you to cover our event. We are inviting the institution, and we'll make the change and put that in writing." So, but
And was
they
that done?
didn't. It wasn't done. But I don't fault them for that. There was a lot of things going on. Perhaps they didn't have the chance to do it. But because
Dennis, you
personally,
are
I
making
know,
excuses for these people. They should have done that. They,
no,
they
they should
wrote a
have, they
letter
should
that
have done
was
that. I don't.
erroneous and misleading. Hold on, Dennis. They wrote a
Mhm.
letter that was erroneous and misleading. You brought it to their attention. I made a lot of mistakes. Every day I made mistakes. So I can understand. But when the mistake is being brought to my attention, I have a responsibility to correct that. You made further steps and they never corrected that. And now you are
Right.
saying, well, I don't fault them. Why are you doing that?
Right, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt, because I was wondering as to what the intent may be. I think what may have played into that is they were probably conflicted as to what to do. Okay, do we invite these guys has to cover the occasion? So if we invite them to cover our event, it means we have to compensate them, right? They are
Mhm.
flying from everywhere to come here. They are flying to come here. Okay, so if they fly to come here, they are paying for their own hotel. They're doing this. So what do we compensate them? With, can we at least cover their expense? So I believe part of me is they could have been conflicted as to exactly what they wanted,
But then
because
it
if
was
they are paying,
even difficult for them to say, hey, we are inviting you. We want you to cover our event, but we don't have money to cover your transportation, your hotel, and your feeding while you're here. Can you still do that? What is wrong with being honest and very straightforward with people? We are a media institution. We can honor our own costs and go and cover the event. It's not everything a media cover they have to be paid, right? So why were they not straightforward?
and I don't want to say they were not straightforward or not, but they were not. I think they were conflicted. They
All
when I met the Mr. Bowman, he was shocked that I think the letter was not corrected, right? He said, I said, well, I wrote and I didn't get a feedback. He said, oh, really? He said, I approve for the letter to be changed and sent back to you. It wasn't done. I said, no. And he was shocked. But I don't think he should be shocked, right?
right.
Because if you give approval, you should follow up with the people you give the task to perform.
Mhm.
And if you invite people, even on the day of their arrival, call them and say, "Hey, are you here? What do you need? What is it that you want?" But to invite someone and there is no follow up, you don't check on them. Even when I arrive at the place there, I mean, nobody asks. I got there late today. I don't want to fault them, right?
Mhm.
But if somebody you have invited get to a place and no matter how late he will be, you want to at least try to offer him a seat. You want to try to say, "Oh, have you had something to drink? Have
But
you
Dennis,
done?"
let us forget about the drain.
No, no,
They,
I'm
even though it
saying
was not in their letter, hold on, Dennis, even though it was not in their letter, but in your verbal communication with them, they say, hey, we're asking you or inviting you to come and cover our event.
correct.
Focus on Libra was not the only media institution. So you invited media institution to cover the event. And you are saying when you got there, there was no coordination as to what specifically you're supposed to do.
No,
I mean, I'm just curious here. So they
no,
did not coordinate the coverage. They
no.
never
There was
asked you whether you were doing what you were invited for and at what time you needed to start. Nothing. They just acted like they didn't know why you were even invited for. Was that the situation?
nobody approached me when I arrived at the meeting, at the
Mhm.
business meeting.
Mhm.
I didn't want to go into my personal encounter when it comes to focus on Liberia. I just wanted to focus more on the convention, the central theme and all that, but we can go into that.
Mhm.
Nobody actually say, hey, you are here now. This is what we want you to do. It's like people expected you to just cover, because I met Mr. Boma at the door
Mhm.
at the convention.
Mhm.
At some point, I sent someone, a colleague of mine, to say, hey, I'm at this place here now. Let me interview the chairman.
Mhm.
The chairman was busy, so he said, well, I mean, we're doing something. So after that, he said, well, what we're going to do is let's go to the hall at the big event.
Mhm.
And I thought that was not going to be possible to really interview at the ball.
Mhm.
So I felt that during the day program was going to be a right time. But nobody asked me to say, okay, what are you doing? Are you covering, interview? I got asked a very, what I would call a funny question, right? The secretary, Madam Yasini, asked me, why are you streaming? So it looks to me that they were only interested in people going there and stream to share, to broadcast to the world, right? So you go there, get your camera, stream it, and you put it on Facebook. Everybody see, oh, ANC convention is going on. ANC convention is going on. That's all they wanted to see. But when it comes to actual media coverage, because I was writing, I told them this is print media. I'm writing my stuff down because they were expecting. So that was the focus. So
So actually, they want to focus on Liberia is live. The ANC Global Convention focus on Liberia is live, because that is what I saw with other media institutions, and that all they wanted, and that is why they have invited focus on Liberia and other media institutions. So looking at the idea that that was all they wanted, what does that say about them in how they see these media platforms of today, Dennis?
Some say that what you are doing is to benefit you. So, for instance, if Focus on Liberia goes out and you are televising ANC convention or CDC convention or LP convention, it is you are promoting your platform. So you are doing it for you, but so other people watch this there's a focus. So to some people that I spoke to, they say, well, it is for your own good. Right? You are doing this for Focus on Liberia, not us. But I didn't see how Focus on Liberia benefit.
So they felt that they were giving you an opportunity to showcase your platform and who you are.
Right. And this was not the official communication to me to say, hey, we are inviting you to we are giving you exposure. But from the feedback I got from one or two persons here and there, is like, hey, this is for your own good. You should be happy that we are giving you this exposure, as if I need this exposure through ANC-Global.
You are watching Focus on Liberia. Ansony Sieh hosting. This is the Hour of Politics. Mr. Dennis Jai, the CEO of Focus on Liberia, is my guest. He represented Focus on Liberia at the ANC Global Convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. He has made his report, and I am asking my question as I always do. Dennis, did you follow up with any other media institutions that were invited? And was it the same experiences that you are explaining right now that they too encounter? Did you do anything like that before?
No, I didn't talk to anybody concerning that, and I didn't compare notes with anybody. So I met across Africa. Lofa Julo was filming, right? So I think at some point he wanted to do something else. So he asked me if I was filming as well. So because he didn't want that break in his telecast. So I said no, I was not filming anything. I was only writing down my notes. So that was the only person I spoke to when it comes to, because he if I was filming and he said, okay, then we'll continue on the broadcast. That was how I saw it.
So why did you not go live? I mean, it's obvious that you were invited as a media platform, and they know you. The platform is a streaming platform, and that's why they invited you. And you did not go live. What stopped you? So it seems to be that you did not do the ANC justice. They wrote you. You communicated with them, you were there, you did not go live. Why?
No, they wrote me. In fact, covering the program was not communicated to me in writing.
In writing.
And what specific things they wanted me to do was also not communicated, right?
In writing.
And I in writing. And I felt that covering the program should not just be streaming. I wanted to ask, for instance, the chairman. I wanted to ask the coordinator, hey, what are you here for? I want to ask questions, right? First of all, you go into this program, what is your success criteria? What will you be looking for? What is this about? How is ANC-Global different from ANC? Get these questions, because I don't just want to show camera and people are filming. The media institution is more than that. Yeah. Anybody can go live. Anybody who has a phone can go live.
Their members were going live as well, as they always do.
Yeah, so I was not prepared to say, I have my equipment, but I was not prepared to just go there blindly in the and just go live for what.
All right, thank you so very much. And then let me also find out from you, what was the attendance like? Dennis, was it impressive? Who were some of the ANC personalities that you met, and did their presence, their interactions with you and other people based on your observation, project any seriousness on the part of this institution that they are there for a reason and they know what they are there for?
Yeah, I mean, just as I said before, just like any other, these are some of the people that you know, right? So when I was meeting like Mr. Alva for the first time, even though we have interacted on television, on the phone many times. So there's always some excitement when you see people that you have interacted with for a long time. Now you are meeting them. And I took some pictures with some of them. I mean, great people. I saw Levy Thompson. I saw what's the name? Mr. Perkins. And I saw
you took a picture with Sieh Thompson as well.
Sieh Thompson, and these people, great. So I mean, if you get there, you feel the vibe, you feel the love, and I even saw my sister-in-law, and we even took a picture. We've not met for I don't know how many years. A friend from Ghana. I saw people from my high school. So on that note, you see that the people are serious. They know, but my problem is if we really take this seriously as a matter of life and death, if we really know that Liberia is bleeding, that we came from war, especially those of us who teenage years were just destroyed by the war. If you are watching, go on my blog, dennisjar.blogspot.com. I have written extensively about my experience in the Liberian Civil War, where we get in single file. In 1990, my family and I, siblings, parents, we walked from Monrovia to Cotton Tree, went to Guinea, lived as refugees, came back. 92, there was the notorious octopus. We walked from Monrovia to Lac in Grand Basso, and this took weeks. I mean, you fear being killed, conscripted. I mean, the worst human treatment ever. You see a guy who sit down in a rotating chair and ask the people to go around the chair and sing the song Attire Living. He could shoot anybody. All these things are serious. This came from leadership, bad governance. We have election fraud. So when we meet like this, we should be serious. It's not for joke. Okay, people should be serious and mean what they're saying. It's like we are only creating our own little political leader as a pathway to the presidency so that we can eat too. I see a lot of that.
Dennis, let me ask you these few questions, and then we'll go to Mr. Cummings' statement that he made there, right? I want to know, do you sense members of this institution that they are just holding onto titles, or that they are just trying to belong? Does the ANC actually have something here and accept that what it has may not be going its way. I know my reason for asking these questions because you said there are leaders there, and we saw the little confusion with just an ordinary letter be sent to an institution. They missed the name of the institution. They were not clear as to what they were inviting the institution for. Right? These are individuals who are responsible for these acts, and then they send a letter, and then this blunder, and there was a follow-up. There was communication that it should be, clarified. It was never done. So that's why I'm asking the question: are these people just holding on to these titles? Do they just go to this program or this institution they join in just to belong, or they actually want to do something?
And that's a very good question, Mr. Sieh, because it's hard. You see the commitment from these guys, and we'll come to Mr. Cummings later, because what you see there is people that you think that mean well, but I don't know what happened, because even Mr. Cummings, I've been in a room with Mr. Cummings when we're working on our community center here, and I know the kind of questions he asks to get us to the real thing. But maybe there is something in running for office that when you get to Liberia, you are just sucked in the system, that you don't do what is right anymore, that you don't ask those questions anymore. Because I don't see Mr. Cummings as a guy who wants to be a one-man army. So how come that these people around him and he's not using them politically? It's like everybody got to follow this one leader, and everybody got to follow his dream. So, for instance, if Mr. Cummings is not able to run on the ANC ticket this year, nobody's going to run. But I believe there are great guys in this party. There are great guys who can be president, just like Mr. Cummings, who can be president, just like Mr. Bwaka, who can be president, just like any other political leader. But they are not coming up. Either they've been suppressed because you have this imperial political leader mentality. So I don't know, Mr. Sieh.
And then could it also be that Cummings might not be the one, and there may be some individuals in the institution who are so protected of him, not allowing certain things to happen. I'm asking the question based on my own personal experience, right? I have invited some individuals in the ANC. They say, "Oh, I will get to you." The next thing I know, some higher up say I shouldn't do the interview. One specific example is the issue of Mariah. We invited her 2 times. I know she's been on the platform, but after that, we invited her 2 times. There was a flyer. The show was advertised. Mariah made a commitment that she will come. And later on, there was a call from somebody saying Mariah can't come. And there was this flimsy excuses. Somebody either protective of Cummings or protective of the institution, making this decision that certain things should not happen, maybe because they are suspicious of something else. And it all comes down and make the institution bad and also the political leader bad. Is there any truth to that?
I don't know. But from my interaction with people, doing what we do, is these things have to go through the political ladder. So, for instance, if you were calling someone to speak to the media on certain things, that person must have approval from a central board or from some leadership.
Right.
And I think the reason for that is, unlike the days when we were growing up, when we started hearing about the progressive, when we started hearing of people like the Student Unification Party on the University of Liberia campus, actual classes were held to conscientize people, to be able to teach them on the party's ideology. People were being trained. People were being mentored. So at a time that, even today you see that, ask anybody in the Student Unification Party. I was never a member for the short time I was there, but anyone from that party will be able to speak to you concerning soup. We don't see that these days because people are not really focused on the on learning. People are not focused on getting the meat. People are only thinking about this following and this knowing. Oh, say, that's what people are focused on. So they cannot actually articulate. So everything must come down from the almighty PL to flow down the stream. But if people are actually taught, if classes are held to train them, this is what ANC believe when it comes to this. This is our position when it comes to the economy. I mean, the ANC-Global was going into a convention when the government just released a budget, which jumped from some in the neighborhood of 5 million to that of 7.5 million in a few months. So it's like, can you see this? Can you speak to this? Are there no economists on this team to talk about this?
And as we speak, nothing from their side.
Nothing. So you are still waiting for somebody.
Apparently, they're waiting for comments.
Are these things not talked about in your meeting?
Do they have a team of economists who will have meeting regularly when there's a major thing about the economy, who will come together and prepare a statement and give an official response? I mean, do they even have that?
I don't see that. And not ANC alone. I don't see that with any other political party. People, I don't see it.
So then let's get to Cummings made a short speech. I listened to it very, very carefully. I think it was about 12, 11 or 13 minutes. And in the speech, there are a few things he highlighted. You know, he said, hey, Liberia will not get better because we talk it. All right. It will get better because we do the work. And the work will require all of us. That was good, and that is true. He came to the political side and he said, hey, if President Weah does well, we will talk it. And maybe if he's doing well, we just need to work harder. And for me, I am more political, right? When you are in opposition, there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, the government is doing well, let's do it. But that is not the role of the opposition. That is not the role of opposition to say, well, to make it a part of your major message when we have deaths going on, the economy is in turmoil. And one of the things you have to say is when the president is doing well, we'll talk about your goal, your role is to make the government aware of all of the things that are happening in the country that are hurting the people. Speak for the people. What do you make of the statement that he issued there?
Mr. Cummings' statement, first of all, I don't know if Mr. Cummings realized in that meeting that he was speaking to the whole country. To me, it was like he's speaking to just people in that room, right? So he was talking things like, you know, like what you just said, hey, let us be message discipline. You know, don't attack people, don't cause the people, don't. Good thing for some if you are in a room speaking to your members. Oh, you know, when the president does something, praise the president. When the president does this, you know, these are like fireside talk. This is not serious convention speech. This is not serious political leader talking here. This is when we are talking. So I said, I wonder he's realizing that he's talking to people in Vubadi. He's talking to people in Gray. He's talking to people in Bokondre. He's talking to people in Bannersville, in West Point. Is he really thinking? Is that what they are feeling? Because has a political leader, has a standard bearer, has an alternative to the bad governance we're seeing. Anytime you get up to talk, what I want to see is speak to the pains of the people and how you can make their lives better. Draw that sharp contrast. But he was talking to just his people in there. He was not addressing issues. He was not laying the groundwork. He was talking about, someone told me I was criticizing President Sirleaf one time and said, well, Dennis, why don't you praise the woman if she does well and say this? So I give this analogy. I say, if you have a Class C license, driver license, it means when you see a stop sign, you stop. Look before you go. If you get to the traffic sign, you stop. Yellow means slow down and stop. Before you make a turn, put your blinker on. Why should I clap for someone? I'm driving in Ansony Sieh's car. We are on the highway. The speed limit is 45. Ansony is driving 45, and you want me to clap for him? That's the basic Class C requirement.
Yeah.
So if Mr. Weah pays employees and he say, oh, when the president does something good, praise the president. That's his basic job requirement. At my job, what I do on a daily basis, that's why I get my, but I never get any bonus if I don't go above and beyond.
Yeah.
So talking about if Mr. Weah does something, praise him. If he did this, don't praise him, and then that's talk for small children. It's not a serious political talk. Two, Mr. Cummings, is on record for making this thing popular that doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results is insanity. So I want to see Mr. Cummings doing something different, not the thing that everybody is talking in the street. He also said that, hey, if you are following me, because there is this whole talk of those who follow Cummings, those of us who believe in Cummings. The political leader should be more than that. I mean, a political party should be more than that. It shouldn't be about Cummings. It should be about the whole team, a group of people that are going to run a country. It's not just you, because you alone can do it.
No.
Okay. He said, well, if you are following Mr. Cummings because you want job or you want job, I'm the wrong guy. And everybody started clapping.
Yeah.
And he started saying the things that he's not. Well, I got a church background. We call that negative evangelism. You are talking about, I am not this, I am not this, I am not for this, I am not for this. I want to hear who you are, what you stand for. What is it that you're going to do differently? Why is it that we should choose you over President Weah? Or why is it that CPP partisans should pick you over the career politician Joe Boakai? Why? So that's what I want to hear. Remember now, you don't read the Bible as much as I do.
Mm-hmm.
Moses said, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. Hey, Mr. Moses, can you tell us what we should do instead of what we should not do?
Yeah.
So what did Jesus do when he came? He flipped that around.
Comrade Jesus now.
Yeah. My Lord and Savior. When he flipped that around, he said, love the Lord your God with all your heart. And he said, love thy neighbor as thyself, right? Because all the things you talk about, thou shalt not bear forward, thou shalt not, love your neighbor as thyself, covers everything. What am I saying? Speak to what people need to do, not what they shouldn't do. In the same way, speak about who you are, what you're going to do, and not what you're not going to do. How are you going to fix the economy? How are you going to address this drug issue? How are you going to address the filth? From the first time, or in 1983, when the Ganta-Harper Highway was launched by President Doe, it's still there. You still can get to my hometown. How are you going to fix it? That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear what you're not. Tell me who you are.
And Dennis, you said it right. Liberia to change, we need bold ideas that are transformative and not this, political children talk all the time. People gather at political event, and chanting munya munya, right? What I have not heard from Mr. Cummings is bold ideas. He's not preaching bold ideas.
No.
For example, Cummings from a business background, he said, "Hey, when I become president, I will raise the budget to $1 billion." Mr. Cummings has not been able to articulate, and here's the thing that really, baffles me. Even if the political leader, says that, if I'm a member of that political party, he has made a statement that needs to be backed.
Yeah.
What has Cummings team been able to do to develop a blueprint as to how that $1 billion can be realized in the period he said it will? That has not come. That's another problem.
Yeah.
Zero. And now you said in your IT, sometimes your CEO goes to a meeting, and there's a product idea that comes out, right? And he will make a pronouncement there that we can offer that product, even though you don't have it, because
he did not even say we can offer it. He said he will sell it.
Yes.
He sells the product before he comes back and tell the people to develop it.
Uh-huh. So why has Cummings team? I mean, are they waiting for Cummings too? These people, they're waiting for Cummings too. And let me add this today before you can come in the next. We have the issue of decentralization in Liberia. We as presidents are still appointing superintendents, sitting there, down to even town chiefs. Has Mr. Cummings been able to articulate his position? Has the ANC articulated any position of a departure from the demonstration of the imperial presidency?
Nope.
We have not seen that. So how is this? We can be doing the same thing over and over and expect different results, not something that the ANC is even guilty of.
Mr. Sieh, I have not seen that. I have not seen Mr. Cummings articulate any bold ideas, something that is a departure from the past. He said in a place there that George Weah is incompetent, is inept. Granted.
They will make him 110 president and people clap. You made 110 president, people clap. I mean,
there has been nothing that, okay, this is what George Weah is doing. So it's like, trust me, I have done it in Coca-Cola, I can do it, I can do it here. But there has been nothing. And you given a very brilliant example about raising the budget. You said you're going to raise the budget from this point to this point, but you have not shown any numbers. During our interview, and I asked him, for instance, people always say, oh, we're going to cut waste and abuse. There's corruption, we're going to cut this. Nobody has been able to put a number on corruption. Take, for instance, if you can tell me, okay, in the government, we have this number of ghost salary, ghost pay. And so if we cut off the ghost pay, this is how much we're going to be saving per year. We also have lawmakers that are making this amount, or lawmakers and government employees. So if we cut the salary of lawmakers, let's say from 10,000 to 5,000, this is how much we're going to be saving per year, and this is where it's going to go. If we will shrink the government, if we will do X, Y, Z, we want to see numbers. Nobody is talking numbers. Okay, so there has been no talk about numbers. All we want to do is, Weah is bad. He's not educated. He's a playboy. He's womanizing. So get him out and put me there, and I'm going to make the difference. That's not how you appeal to voters to take your side. Because remember now, Mr. Cummings has not crossed the CPP. He did not mention Boakai by name during the convention, but every time you get up to speak, Mr. Cummings, make the case to CPP people that why they should pick you over Mr. Boakai.
He's a competitor.
Right. Don't ignore that. And also do not, you should also make the case against Mr. Weah. What are you going to be doing differently? Are you going to still be electing city mayors? Are you still going to be, appointing superintendents? Are you going to be appointing the principal of BWI? What is it that you're going to do that will be a departure? How is it that how do you want us to pay for healthcare? Should we have insurance? How do you want the Monrovia Consolidated School System, for instance, to be run? Okay. Currently, schools in Bushra Island, Central Monrovia, and Sincor are part of the Monrovia Consolidated School System. Will you include schools in Bannersville as well? Because Goodrich, Pinsville, what is it that you're going to do? We have not seen anything different. All we hear is, give us the presidency. This guy is bad and we can do better, but you are not showing us any bold ideas.
And then there's another thing we don't see, and I continue to look for. I think we touched on that a little bit. What are the themes in the Cummings scheme? Does Cummings have an economics team? Let me not, make it with Cummings. Does ANC have any economic team? Does ANC have a team on the environment? People who are doing research and crafting a policy on the environment, waste management, that at certain time they can, reveal this plan. Maybe Cummings can be in attendance and say, hey, yeah, my team on the environment, yeah, my team on the economy. What he's waiting for, he will get a nomination for. These are the things that make you look different. This is how you project yourself that I am different. We don't see that.
And Mr. Sieh, you can open the phone line so that people get engaged too.
And Mr. Dennis, I can only handle comments. I'm in the UK when I'm broadcasting from.
Oh, okay,
As I speak to you, it's 12:36 in the UK, and I'm here because of Liberia, because we all want a good Liberia. So if you can, set up the phone lines there, I will appreciate that. But I can take some comments, and so let me allow you to learn your thoughts there.
Right. So another thing that I want to mention here, we don't do this most of the time in Liberia. We don't hold people accountable by what they have said in the past, right? And we should start doing that. And I'm not trying to pick on Reverend Levi Martin. Reverend Levi Martin was the face of the convention. He was the master of ceremony. So if you enter the place there, you will see this guy. I mean, he's eloquent, smartly dressed, everything, man. But I think picking Mr. Reverend Martin as the MC was a poor selection, and here is why. Reverend Martin is on record for saying that he's too good to marry someone from West Point. He said that. Reverend Martin also stated during his interview with Mark Jabate, when Mark Jabate said that he is from Nimba County, he was born in Nimba County, he asked him for a birth certificate.
Playing Trump.
Excuse me?
I said he was playing Trump.
Exactly. So asking a Mandingo from Nimba for a birth certificate, that's a dog whistle for elitism, tribalism, and the anti-Mandingo sentiments that we continue to hear among ignorant people that Mandingos are not Liberians. So if you ask Mark Jabate for a birth certificate, you are telling me I come from Dodokan, born behind the house on plantain leaf. I don't have a birth certificate, but you're not going to ask me. You're going to ask Mark Jabate. You are also telling us that you are the elite because you were fortunate to be born in Monrovia, maybe a Catholic or EAW hospital. You think everybody is like you. So people that make those kind of statements should not be given front seat at a political party convention because people must be held accountable. What's wrong with taking a wife from West Point? There are beautiful people there. Why are you asking Mark Jabate for birth certificate? That's a dog whistle for tribalism and the anti-Mandingo rhetoric, or the stupid anti-Mandingo rhetorics. Mandingos arrived long before the settlers. We from the Kwa, we arrived, I think the first wave was, I think, if not the Gola and the Kisi, and then you have the second wave. The Kwa group were among the second waves of migration. The Mandingos could have been maybe around the third. This was long before 1822 when the settlers or the ex-slave arrived. So how dare you tell someone of Mandingo ethnic group that he or she is not Liberian, and you are sounding that dog whistle asking him for a birth certificate. So someone like that shouldn't have been chosen as the MC for that occasion or the face of the program for a major political party in contending for the leadership of our country.
Thank you so very much. Then again, the phone line said there why I try to go to comments here, a lot of comments, and talking about Levi Martin. He was leading the Grand March. Let's get a little bit of the Grand March while folks get ready for the and we have Brother Levi Martin and the ANC-Global Convention leading the Grand March. Anyway, folks, we will leave it right there and come to a serious business here. You are watching Focus on Liberia on the Hour of Politics with me, Ansony Sieh. We will now bring in some of your comments here quickly while Daniel is setting up the phone line. Let's hear from Bill Willie. Liberian men, when they are interested into something, they will say anything to make it look beautiful. And he laughs. And then let's hear from Mianta here, Yasini Mantimpe, Frances, Richardson. Okay, she's calling the names of people. Let's hear from Amenke Salif the second. Dennis, I agree with you. At a political convention.
Hold on, Mr. C. Someone is calling my phone. You should call the. But this person has been commenting, so let them talk. Theola Gibson is on the line. You should call the phone line, but you just call my phone. So, Mr. C, if you don't mind, we can allow that to go.
Yeah, Dennis, I don't want that to happen. Let's read the comments and let the person call the teleconference number. I will say no to that.
All right. Madam Gibson, please call the teleconference line. It's posted there.
Can you text it to me? Please?
Okay. It's in the scrolling text. It's in the scrolling text below.
If it's in the scrolling stuff, it's hard for.
Okay. Dennis will get that to you. Let me read comments. Amen K. Salif. Dennis, I agree with you. At the political convention event, you shouldn't see the same commodity socialization. We want to see, feel, and hear more about their leadership, trapping, evidence of organization, professionalism, institutionalism, and signs of how this political party will govern if given national power. Yet we miss that. That's why we are where we are. Let's hear from A. Dennis. On the surface, it appears that we all want the same for Liberia. The truth is people have ulterior motives. Let's hear from Cooper Kwame. Dennis is right that Richardson should have spoken a bit on the psychological impact on the nation as seen on the streets of Monrovia and how ANC would tackle such a problem. Let's hear from Sen Wallow. Mr. Wallow writes, Dennis, you saw this firsthand, what happened at the convention, and yet refuse to believe what your eyes have told you. You still say the candidate will be a great leader. Yeah, from Jimmy Eastman, white ballot or candidate acclamation election may indicate that we are not ready or we do not prefer truly contested democratic processes and elections. African political systems and institutions are traditionalists based on kinship and lineage. The lineage was a powerful and effective force for unity and stability in Africa. Each lineage had its head chosen on the basis of age, maturity, and relation to ancestors. In all indigenous African societies, political organization began at there. All right, that's a long one there. So, Jermaine, thank you. Let's come to Hamilton Zilli. So, is anything done in the U.S.? So, is anything done in the U.S.? May say if anything done in the U.S. becomes universal model for others to follow, let's understand that many things that are done in the U.S. have some cultural and westernized implications. Let us not borrow everything from the West. Let's hear from Angela Rose Doe. But based on what we see these people, based on what will these people be doing, taking or giving their speech? It's not well there. Let me continue. Are they in that capacity in ANC that they must speak? If they speak, they will be the person in that capacity. She's asking a lot of questions there. Let's hear from Martha Dennis. Is that what it is? He didn't say, let's hear from Dennis here. He didn't say that. What he said was anyone who gives, he will match. This was a means to get people to donate. Maybe that one when we were talking about the donation. Let's hear from Baron Brown. Again, in a fundraiser, they do that at every fundraiser rallies around the world. Oprah and Jay-Z donated millions to Obama presidential campaign. Dennis, you want to continue?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So you're doing that there. Let me continue with my comments here from Henrietta here. You are here again on this old man. Take it easy before you get pressure. You are discussing ANC convention. Let's hear from Nelson Freeman, Mr. Ja. The big donors in the ANC are not donating because of jobs. Those are business individuals who are waiting on a better business enrollment to do business in Liberia. I spoke with you briefly about that. That person writes, let's hear from Linus Perkins here. Dennis, you are speculating, but that's the mindset of our people. We are working to change. Liberians are not used to honest politicians. As such, we assume everyone who donates has large sums, have an agenda. Anyways, now let me leave it there. Let's continue with Rosalind Cooper. Dennis Ja, please understand this was an ANC Global general meeting. It was a general meeting? I thought they said it was a convention, and not the convention for the party where policies are adopted. All right, she said, ANC Global non-political parties, so don't bring a thing here. Some Wallow Liberians tend to focus on partying a bit too much. It would be good if a political party or organization will have a business event without having a party. Let's hear from Mr. Bowman here. There is room for improvement. Mr. Bowman writes rather here from Seattle Thompson. Seems like you are asking very specific question that you really know the answers for. Yes, sometimes we ask for the audience. Bowman again, we spoke about this with you. Dennis, apologies. The person is apologizing there. A lot of comments. I don't think we can get to them. I think we'll play emphasis on core more. But let me read this one. Does FOL, okay, Metro say does. Does FOL need ANC platform to be known or promoted? I don't believe so. FOL is already making headway among media institutions owned by Liberian. FOL can be ranked number 3 in my judgment among Liberian-owned institutions based on criteria of accuracy, balance, and clarity of journalism. Let's hear from Yassini Mountain, where I personally went to greet Dennis at the business meeting. At the dinner, I went to meet Dennis, although I was sick. We hope you get well there. Let's hear from Gibson. In every organization, you will have people who will make mistakes. That does not mean that the organization is flawed. And I acknowledge I myself, I make a lot of mistakes. Let me just read the one, and then we go to cause. Then yes, we have EC that will respect. Yes, we have EC that we will respect. If we are going to speak on behalf of ANC, we need to inform our EC. It has nothing to do with following. A call for respect and authority. All right, that was when I was wondering whether somebody need to approve and all that. Then there's a few comments there, a lot of them, about 300 comments so far. Right. So do we have some callers, or you have any?
Yeah, we have 2 callers on the line. So okay, so let's get the first caller here. The first caller is Theola Gibson. You're live.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, Theola.
Dennis, you are giving a lot of misinformation about ANC, and that is not fair.
Okay.
It was a fundraiser. Yes, we had our business. We need to adapt certain processes as to how we'll move forward with the global organization. But the whole purpose of this weekend was fundraising. It was about the whole purpose was fundraising. This was not a political rally, so Mr. Cummings did not have to come and give all of his plans for the future. This was a fundraiser. Now, if it was a political rally, yes, he would have touched on all the different political things that you're hinting. But it was a fundraiser. And Mr. Cummings did not say, if you're following me. Mr. Cummings said, if you're supporting me because you think you're going to come into the government to steal, I am the wrong person. He did not say, if you're following me. If we're going to quote someone, let's quote.
What is the difference between following me and supporting me?
He did say that, yes, if the We Are Government does the right thing, we will give them the kudos. We're not going to condemn everything because it's all about Liberia. So let's say the right thing if we're going to say it, if we must quote someone, please.
Okay.
The speech is there. It's online. Anybody can listen to it. But don't misquote Mr. Cummings, please.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me just show to Sierra Theola's point. Someone also said the convention was twofold, but the letter that I got said you are welcome. Invitation to attend the 3rd annual ANC-Global convention on behalf of the organizing committee of the ANC-Global. The 3rd annual convention, they say, on behalf of the organizing committee of the ANC-Global 3rd annual general meeting in parentheses convention, it gives us the pleasure to cordially invite you. So that's convention. And what I was saying, it doesn't mean that I'm saying every time Mr. Cummings has the opportunity to speak, whether it's rally, whether it's convention, he has to speak to the key issues. Speak, what makes you different, why you think you can be president and not we are or Boaka or anybody else. So let's go to the next caller. That's Roslyn Cooper. Roslyn, you're live. Welcome to Focus on Liberia.
Thank you, Mr. John, and thanks for everyone listening here. So let me first of all say thank you for honoring our invitation to attend the event. From our indication, we had a successful event, although we acknowledge there were some missteps that we as a body will work towards correcting. But I want to strike one point here, Dennis. I think you have a fundamental misunderstanding of ANC-Global's role.
Okay.
ANC-Global is we are a support arm for the party in Liberia. We mainly focus on supporting the party in terms of messaging, mobilization, and fundraising. Those are the three main objectives of the ANC in terms of helping the party in Liberia. Now, we are not the ones to come up with the party policy and adopting all of the political arms of the party. We don't do that. That's not ANC-Global's role. Now, I must also say here, Dennis, you were invited, and I know you mentioned about you entering the event and you didn't get a seat, but let's think about it. Look at the time you came. You entered the hall. It was almost 10 p.m. It was way after 9 when you came. The place was jam-packed. We had a special sitting area for media. So I know you were a little bit, talking about you not being getting a seat to sit, or we don't offer you a seat, but the place was already full. So if we keep a seat for you, then it's after 2 hours, you don't show up, we expect that you're not coming. So we will more than likely give it to someone else. Okay? So, let's just see what you're doing our analysis, and we expect you to be fair and balanced. I understand you received a communication. There was a competition between you and Wanti, the coordinators. You guys had a discussion on the phone. It was kind of understanding that you had all of the information you need. And another point you mentioned that we needed you guys to live stream the program. No, we didn't need. That's not what intent of you going there to live stream, because we have multiple people live streaming the event. So the presence of Focus on Liberia there was not to live stream the event. It was a courtesy granted to you, being that you are one of the top media outlets here in the diaspora.
Yeah.
So we understand. We understand your point. We take constructive feedback. We know everything was not done 100%, and when you're planning these things, you have held, led community organization, your school organization. You know that whenever you hold this type of event, there's never a time it's 100% perfect. There is a good side and there is a bad side. So what we did well, we will continue to improve on that. Those things that we fell short, we will correct them. It's not the end of the world, but I just want to make sure that you understand ANC-Global is not there to make positive decision for the party. That's not what we are.
Thank you. And I'm not, I perfectly understand the role. And all I'm saying is every time in this political time, every time you have the opportunity to draw the contrast, Mr. Cummings, please don't hesitate. Do just that. All right.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Do we have another caller?
Yes, and thank you, Roslyn. Let's take another caller. That's Aliyu Kamara. Mr. Sieh, can you predict what Aliyu going to say? No, I'm kidding.
Well, I can certainly predict that.
Go ahead, Aliyu.
Buckeye is the best thing that ever happened to the country. Listen, he's going to say that.
International platform. I'm in London. I'm in England. There is look at people like Ansony, they're all fluffy. Well, I just wanted to talk like an ANC man. Sorry, Ansony, you're an important guy. But yeah, look, Dennis, you are one of the finest Liberians on social media.
Man, don't make my head soft. Other thing.
Dennis, about my mother children, I have this most smelly breath. And you know why? Because I speak my mind only. But here's the thing, though. Before I even make the comment I wanted to make, I just wanted to throw this in there. Dennis, I don't know what to say about this. Somebody sent you an invitation. This is Dennis Jar. This is focused on Liberia. The first thing, there's a reason why you call it Focus on Liberia. They chose to call it Focus on Africa. And you tell them, Dennis, you need to change it. Even though I'm an African, even though we represent Africa, yeah, we've got a lot of different African communities that come to Focus on Liberia. But the nomenclature of this platform also matters. Okay, you change it delinquently. It didn't happen. And then you want to know exactly what position, because you're not just a Flaka J guy, you're Dennis Jar. Okay, what am I going to do there? Nothing, just come and just show up. Then let me ask you a couple of things. Did they buy a plane ticket to just show up? Because if you bought my plane ticket to just show up, I would do that. But if I had to buy my own plane ticket, then you have to give me a genuine cost for which I have to spend my money to go to your event, which is not my event. The next thing I wanted to ask you is, if the ANC were to invite you again, give you that kind of very blur invitation, will you honor it without getting a commitment of clarity? Those are the two questions I wanted to say. But this is what I want to say about the elitist thing. Dennis, I hope you knock those two questions. Dennis, why you think some of us don't support the ANC? You're sitting with my girlfriend, I love the girl.
Yeah.
Why I can't join her to support ANC? The reason I cannot support ANC is that the ANC is completely disconnected with the entire fabric of Liberia. And when you talk this, people think it's discrimination. They are elites. The ANC, they are elites. Then if you do not sound like them, if you don't talk like them, you don't share their idea, then they will denigrate you, they will disgrace you. In fact, they don't even want to mention your name because you're not at their level, you're not their type. That's the ANC for you. Look at Mr. Cummings, for example.
Be brief now.
Mr. Cummings is the guy who's supposed to do things differently. Everything he's doing the same, different result. But look at the people. My own brother, Hassan Berete, he went for Musa Hassan Berete. He got the controversial guy from Spoon that even Central Waterspoon, as controversial as Central Waterspoon did not hesitate to allow him to resign. But let me just say this. Dennis, you're a fine guy. What's the guy's name? My brother Ansony said you guys are fine gentlemen. You guys are true Liberians and true Africans. A guy like me, Aliyu Kamara, aka Aliyu V. Samba, Who doesn't know a damn thing? Dennis and Ansony will make it their business to engage me behind the scene. We have conversation like two people and human beings, and I don't see myself any different from them. And we all have mutual respect for each other. Can you find that in the ANC? ANC is the only political party that you will not find such thing. And this is why, Dennis, we'll make sure that next time you will be invited at the Unity Party program
Yeah,
to
right.
see human block and see how a true indigenous Liberian behave as opposed to the settler mentality and all of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You see, he didn't say they will invite me.
Yeah, and people are making a big deal out of the seat business. I mentioned the seat issue in passing. I admit that I arrived there late, but again, and I was making the point when it came to a typical Liberian gathering where you see the place is packed, people are standing, there is noise, everybody say, sit down, keep quiet. There's a liquor or bar going on. This is a typical, but I'm saying let's be different. You know, I see that on almost every convention you go to. But I was saying, let this be different, okay? Have enough seats for everybody, okay? Rent a bigger place. If somebody you invited, no matter how late, still give them the courtesy and say, hey, you know, if there is no seat, that's understandable. And I was not making a big deal out of that. I said, hey, I'm late, but I'm here. And Aliyu asked the question, but Aliyu, a JMB business, so you, I don't even, what was the question again?
Dennis, he said, when you are invited, will you
Yes, I will go
again, you know,
if I have the ability, you know, because you have to do with finances, you know, and if I have the time and the ability, yes, I will. Let's allow, and let's be brief. Aliyu took too long. David Flomo, you're live. Mr. Flomo.
Yeah, thank you very much for the call. This is my take on the whole ANC and other political institutions in the country. I think whenever you have the opportunity with some of these forums, you call it meeting, you call it convention, no matter what the name is, you should be able to distinguish yourself as a political institution. It's a brand. But again, I don't see it. They're all doing the same thing. This is the forum I would expect maybe an expert to be talking about good governance. And, you know, a presentation, a powerful presentation. How ANC will be different. And, you know, the economic way forward when they in power. That's what I think looking like. Safety and security, foreign policy and diplomacy. Those are some of the presentations when I go out there where this is something new. And even the platform, they can have a condensed copy of the platform.
And Mr. Flomo, they have those people among them. They have them.
And, you know, so this concept of always allowing the political leaders to be the speaker, it's the same thing, you know. So that's why I live in Winston. I'm about 45 minutes away from where they had a convention. I didn't even bother to go there because I've had my personal conversation with Cummings one time. I was not impressed, to be frank. You got ANC. So how do I distinguish ANC-Global and ANC? You know, so there's a lot of education and a lot of information for the people already in the country, especially the voters. You got ANC as a political party, you got ANC-Global. What's the difference? You know, so I understand. I'm not saying nothing different. And if they want to distinguish themselves, they got to do something better. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. And that's exactly my point, right? Just do something different. Let's get this call from Bronx, New York. Last digit 4431. Your name and where you calling from?
Oh, okay. Yeah, how you doing? My name is Kilau Flomo. I'm really residing in Des Moines now. I was in New York, but I moved away in Des Moines, but I still became my New York number.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Flomo.
Yeah, okay. Actually, part of what I want to say is just what the previous caller just talked about. And what I see is that perhaps ANC is waiting for us to have elected people that can present to us what they have to do for the people in Liberia. And, you know, this is a very wrong something. And the lady who earlier spoke tried to correct the platform about, you know, misinformation. I don't think, you know, she's very, you know, powering up because it's just what David said. if you have a forum, I think it's the best place to brand yourself. Tell the people, you don't have to wait for political rally or political what. This is about the party. So whatever Kwame says there, Kwame is the leader. What he says makes headlines. Tell the people what you have for them, and let the people live from them with something. I mean, so I tried the argument that, the lady was trying to present. I didn't really see anything, genuine in what she was trying to say, But again, everything that we say here, I mean, bulk of it is with the people in Liberia. And mind you, people in Liberia may not, have the opportunity that you and myself have that we can sit to, analyze issues, when it comes out like this. And most of the people in Liberia today, you find, they have already resolved as to how they're moving and where they want to go, So, I mean, it's a very delicate issue that anybody who wants to emerge as a leader, you have to take into consideration what you're going to do for the people. I mean, the people have to see that. And, I mean, rather you numbers and numbers and numbers. And that's the fight. Because we are not hearing anything from these people. The same old thing. And it's not going to work like that. So we have a very serious problem, and that also goes to us in the diaspora. I mean, we should have a say and a stake in Liberia now. Not only to have these discussions, but we should make sure that our voices are heard and they are forceful. I mean, enough, that will create impact.
Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Let's hear from Tavina Cole. Tavina, you live. Go ahead.
Hi, Janet. Can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
Hi, Janet. Hi, Anthony. Thanks for the show. I just wanted to add my 2 cents there. The first thing, let me start something to touch on about, what Mr. Kwame is not being forthcoming with, or being more, showing what he's made of. I asked similar questions when he came to SKTV. I heard him mention about a 100-day plan. And before that, anytime we have these guests, I like to do my own reading and my own research. I went on their website. I did not see, the 100-day plan. I didn't see the mission, vision, or anything, related to that. I did ask him when he came to SKTV about that. He assured me, they were going to update the website, and he was going to send the information to Sekou. He probably did send it to Sekou. But regardless, I expected it to be on the website. When they were on their way to the convention, I looked on the website again to see if that 100-day plan was there, and the vision, all those good stuff that would tell me more about this organization or this group. It wasn't there, but surprisingly, the convention information was there. So I was just like, okay, if the convention information is there, why is this information not there? These are the things that tell your party, to other people. I may be one person, but so many people, they read up on your website, before they even engage you. So I'm concerned about it. So hearing you mention some of these things, it just brought my mind back to that. But more importantly, Dennis, thanks for the feedback. We get people want this kind of feedback. In America, they pay for this feedback for process improvement. So thanks for some of the things you said, and I agree with you in more than one way. Just a few days ago, another partisan of ANC, apparently he just joined them, but he was on another network, again giving a post-analysis of this at the same conference. How they made him feel. He was, put to the side. He wanted to take pictures with Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings didn't work the room like a political leader should do, given the way people say or feel about, the party, whatever it is. And you'd be surprised. I watched it after the fact. But instead of the head or the faces of that party acknowledging this man, concerned, or even a part of say, we are sorry you felt this way. Thanks for the feedback. We will do better, but I'm sorry this was not happy. I reassure you, sometimes people just want nama.
Right.
They attacked him. So 5, 6 of them. I'm not going to call the names. They are right here watching. They know themselves. They attacked him. They told him he was lying. In fact, they told him it was a fundraiser. And why didn't you reach out to him? Why didn't you go to him and tell him you want a picture with him? Now, Mr. Cummings already have yours. He's trying to win people like us and the other people it will be in his best interest to work the room, regardless of what the occasion is, to work the room and welcome these ideas instead of attacking, and constantly attacking people instead of acknowledging these concerns and doing better about these concerns. But all you get is the who call you there? You know, you're lying. You did it. You should have asked him. Why should I ask Mr. Cummings for a picture? Mr. Cummings should come to me in the room and say, Salvina, how are you? Good to see you. What's your name? Thanks for coming to our program. And then, you know what, I'll be there. You know, certain things you don't want to say. But hearing that gentleman and hearing what you said, ANC was in Dallas 2 years ago. Mutual friends invited me to the program. I went there. There are good people there. I went there to network, and I wanted to see that Senator Dylan too because I've been hearing about you on Facebook. I went there. And again, similar things. I sat to the table right near Mr. Cummings. This is my first time sharing this. A table right next to him. I'm saying me as a person, but you watch the room again. That did not happen.
Yeah.
And even when I was leaving after my friend and I was leaving, we had Mr. Cummings to the front door. And for me, I like to engage people. Hi, Mr. Cummings, good to see you. And Mr. Cummings, just say hello. On a number of circumstances, you would say, oh, how are you? You know, thanks for coming to our program. I expected more.
Yeah.
Really having that encounter in that room. And so after that, I made a decision. The next day, I wasn't going to the program. Because you know what? I don't fit in that bubble. I wasn't welcome. Without you saying that, I wasn't welcome. So this is the same thing replay, and people, they fighting. I'm not looking at the comments because I know they come here after me. And I can do battle by myself, but I choose my battle. So I'm not going to put this kind of people. People should be welcoming these people. I say, thank you for telling us and appreciating it, but rather than attacking people. People already say you're a party or you leave, and I don't believe it. I think Mr. Cummings is a servant leader. For the people that are around him, you're not doing any help, and you need to do better. It's coming from Mr. Sabina Coatete. You need my address, you need my phone number, I will give it to you. Come find me.
Thank you. Thank you, Sabina. We got more callers and callers, please, be brief. Let me call Sam Gotolo, if that's the name, your name and where you calling from, if I'm not pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, hi. This is Edwin Warren.
Oh, Edwin Warren. Go ahead, Edwin.
Yeah, Mr. John, thanks for your appearance the last for the convention. To clarify some issue regarding the seat, like Roxley said, I was right by the call when you came in. Nyambo and myself, they offer you a seat because the table was already crowded. And you said it was okay, you know, and you declined. Like Roxley said, let's see what they kept seat for you, but when you came late, so we try to improvise.
Right. Don't make big issue about the seat. I don't remember that encounter that he offered me a seat, but I came late and the place was full. I don't know where the empty seats were, but let's leave the seat business and talk more substantial. That's a personal thing, so let's leave it and talk more substantial issue. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. You know, like ANC, people have the ideas, elitism and stuff, and that's the opinion. I'm a country boy. I work hard, like any other partisan, to make Liberia better. We accept the criticism, we improve. But the notion, like what Tavina saying, you know, she has accept, you know, her preconceived notion about ANC. So, you know, we only try to do better, but when I attack, yes, one or two people may attack, but it doesn't mean that the whole ANC as a whole attacking people. We accept criticism because with criticism, we try to improve. And it was a fundraising. It was not.
So you accept criticism, but you're accusing somebody of having preconceived notions.
ANC vision. ANC-Global is originally formed for the party in Liberia. So the money we raised in America, the people in Liberia will not be able to raise such a money because the economic situation is hard. So it was a convention to raise money. And when Mr. Cummings said, if you want to support me with a notion, you come and get your own share, then do not, I will be the wrong person. And that's a servant leader mentality because we all know what happened in Liberia, in previous government and in this current government. So I don't think we should be on Mr. Cummings for such and statement, we should applaud him and say, like, you know what, if you come to support, come with a waiting man to support and to help move Labrador forward. Not with a preconceived notion that you're going to just come and get your own share of the Labrador pie, then you leave. He said, no, let's get rid of that mentality.
Thank you.
And I know it's a money quarterbacking. A lot of people try to analyze it. You have a right, to analyze, but let's just be balanced.
There seems to be there a lot of colors, so let them be
Yeah,
brief.
yeah. Let's.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And again, the goal here, I'm not saying you are wrong for saying this. I'm just saying speak more of what you are for, not what you are against. This is the wrong guy. Tell me about the right guy, not the wrong guy. That's what I was trying to say. This name here say Harrison Paul, but 612-442. Go ahead, you're live. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. So, first of all, I just want to address one thing real quick.
Your name, please. Your name, please.
Oh, my name is Harrison Paul.
Oh, Harrison, go ahead. You're live. Thank you for calling.
Yes, sir. So just give me a minute here. So, Mr. Cummings, first of all, Mr. Cummings, as an individual, is a unique individual in our body politics, all right? Because Liberia is lacking in ideas, Liberia is lacking incredible leadership. Who is credible enough that to the money when they are president, will be able to do the things that we give them our money for them to do, right? So some of us believe Mr. Cummings is that one person because why he's already successful. Okay, me, I'm not an ANC. I strongly support Mr. Cummings for that very reason, right? So, and Mr. Cummings, you have to look at, all of his speeches. Mr. Cummings already spoken about this whole imperial presidency stuff. He's trying to do something about it, but he's not there yet. Now, let me put that aside. Mr. Cummings came to Minnesota here.
Mr. Paul, let me stop you there small. He's talking about it, but in his own party, he has become an imperial political leader. He's the only one, nobody else.
No, but he did not create that situation, though.
Okay.
He did not create that, that. So, down the line will be first. That's why he said.
Well, he's enjoying that and doing nothing about it.
Before he walk, before he learn to, learn how to run, right? So we're saying the process, right? So let me put that aside. When Mr. Cummings came to Minnesota here, I was concerned because I did not see any security around him. Everybody was taking pictures with him, including myself, right? And some of the young ladies at the party, they were pulling him left and right. I was concerned, like, who really, guided Mr. Cummings? And I was definitely concerned. But let me put that aside also. You guys said, you're not saying nothing different. How you going to say you didn't see nothing different when these people were able to raise close to over $200,000? It's the first time that happened in our history, right? So, and everybody that support Mr. Cummings for the very reason that we want change in Liberia. Not everybody that support Mr. Cummings part of the ANC, especially me.
Thank you.
Right? So you have to look at from that perspective that when people gather from all over from different states, and I promise it's going to be even more. All the people are coming together for one reason only because we want to bring change to this country. So you accuse all the people that are being elites and this and who are the elites? Who are they?
Thank you, Harrison.
So please, So let me just close by saying, please, we have to be real careful. The momentum you're seeing right now is a momentum of change. Because we finally found somebody we believe that can bring that change to Liberia. And it's only going to get bigger and bigger. The next goal is about $1 million. So you have a good night, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Theola Gibson has called back, but the whole thing about saying something different, what I want to see is for Mr. Cummings to demonstrate these things. The convention, the one in Monrovia, was Cummings versus Cummings. He was the only candidate. There was no contest, white ballot. He became the standard bearer. I want to see someone going against him. I want to see potential presidents in that same party. But let me give the last caller here is again Theola Gibson. Theola, welcome back.
Hi. So Dennis, I get what you're saying. Okay, yes, it was a white ballot. Nobody was against Cummings and whatever. Boycott just had for the Unity Party. What they did, they had They serenaded him and gave him.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point.
They didn't. Hello?
Yeah, I said that's exactly my point. But every political
Okay.
party does the same thing. So I wanted to see Cummings doing
Okay.
something different.
So, well, you don't know where ANC is going to go come 2029. You don't know how things are going to be. Okay. We had a convention. Cummings were voted in. Even this going convention, I won on a white ballot. So does that mean that there's nobody else there to take my place? No, we have qualified people, but that's what happened.
Okay.
But we're learning from you all criticism, and we're going to do better. But all I'm trying to say here is this: this was a convention, and we were there to raise money for the party in Liberia.
Thank you.
What Kavina just said about Monique Kishan is completely different. That is not what Money said. What Money did not understand was the packages that were sold for the convention. They had $100, they had $250, they had $500, they had $1,000. The $250, the $500, and the $1,000, those packages included pictures for the political leader. What Money didn't understand was when the people that paid for the $250 to the $1,000, when the pictures were being taken with the political leaders, other people wanted to go and take pictures with him at that time. And at that time, they told them, no, you can't. Let these people finish taking their pictures. Do you know how many people took pictures of Mr. Cummings after that? So it's not that Money wanted to take a picture of Mr. Cummings. No, he did not. Because Money was standing by Mr. Cummings the whole weekend. He had access to Mr. Cummings Friday night at the meet and greet. He and Mr. Cummings was sitting or talking all night, Friday night. Saturday at the event, he was recording and he sat down and talked. He stood up and talked with Mr. Cummings. So Kavina completely misinterpreted what Monique Kishan was saying. It wasn't about him. It was about him seeing the people that wanted to take picture at that time not taking picture. And we corrected him because that was not the point. It was the people that bought those packages were taking the pictures. So that's, again, like I said.
Thank you, Tiola. We got so many callers.
We need to say the truth and not what we think we heard. Thank you.
Thank you. We have so many callers here. This one is Jimmy Eastburn, then Fred. Then we're going to close the line down. Go ahead, Jimmy. You have 1 minute.
Hey, Dennis. I appreciate you coming back and sharing with us, what you experienced. And I see a lot of ANC members calling in, but I'm not too sure that they took your main point you tried to raise. And that is, you want to win the election in Liberia. You will have to resonate not with the people who have a bunch of degrees and who've been in the USA and have nice jobs. You have to resonate with people who don't know how to eat every day, with people who don't know where to get in the next job, with people who don't know why they've been in the village, a road has not reached them for over 174 years. So the lesson you're trying to say to ANC, you need to talk to the grassroots, because that's who's going to elect you, not the elite sitting down in their Eiffel Towers. So that is all you were trying. Now, I'm not getting into the fundraising and who ANC was. I remember ANC one time, when Welma, Mashinini, and Gould were running it. Kwame Clement was part. Today, ANC is a little different. Today, ANC is Mr. Cummings' party. Just how the Republicans became Trump's party, that's what ANC has become. But not regardless. The point is, you want to do good for Liberia, but you have to talk to the everyday Liberian and resonate with them, because they are from a different perspective than you have.
Yeah.
That's all my comment is.
Thank you. Thank you, Jimmy. This one is from Iroko 610, last 4 digits, 4276. And Wanti, I saw your call earlier, but you fell off, so you can call back. We can make that. And Fred, go ahead. your life.
Yeah, thank you. After the ANC program, I wrote a post on Facebook asking about the media, groups that were invited, and I learned that you guys were also part of the invitation that went to North Carolina. Am I right?
Yes, you are correct. Your name again and where you calling from?
Well, the reason I wrote that post is simple.
No, I said, what's your name? What's your name?
Hmm?
What's your name?
My name is Fred. Fred Guian.
Oh, Fred. Okay, Fred. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Fred.
Yeah, the reason I wrote that post about Spoon TV, it was just simple because I believe that when you are invited to these things, even if you are commentators, you are not, people say, well, they were not journalists, they were not this, and they were not that. But I think you still have to play a role. And that role is to communicate to your followers, your audiences around the world, to tell them why you are there, what you saw. So this group focused on Liberia. When your invitation was extended to you, what was your term of reference? Why they invited you? Why was you there? What did you do?
Okay, thank you. Maybe you came late, you missed that, but they invited Focus on Liberia as guest, or they invited Dennis Jah. Focus on Africa, we are inviting you as guests. I displayed a letter earlier. So it was not clear, so we sought clarity, and the letter was supposed to be changed, but it didn't happen. But what was communicated verbally was we want you to cover the event. And a letter to that effect was supposed to follow, but it didn't. We went anyway. Go ahead.
So you cover the event.
Yes.
So you did interviews, you talk to the convention attendees, and you had the chance to talk to comments and asking basic questions. Why, one of the questions that I asked also was, why was, anybody from the CCP and nobody, there was no other, group from the collaborating political party.
The protocol was not there, like as I said earlier, I asked the chairman to interview him, but he said he was rushing. There was no time because I wanted to get all these questions answered. What is this about? What are you trying to accomplish? And then at the board now, this place was not a place you could have actual. So what I did was I talked to people and I took down notes. I was not doing TV. I was doing print. Go ahead.
Thank you. And the only advice that I have, because that was my concern, where we are, where we find ourselves, especially as a country, we need every information we can get. We need anybody who's going to post himself out there as a media entity or news organ or whatever you want to call yourself, to do the Liberian people, a service. When you have the opportunity to go to this thing, try to, be there and bring something back to us.
Yeah.
You can come, and then you have this show again, then we come, then we have the same ANC people coming and trying to, or the CDC people, or
when you say bring something back, what do you mean?
Come and try to fight us when we try to get what you, from you, what you gather, and what was your role there. That's, for me, that's just my call.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me get this last caller now. Ansony, I promise you this will be the last one. 701 area code, your name and where you calling from?
Yes, thank you. Focus on Liberia. This is Teddy Ted, Lion Yakon from Fargo, North Dakota. A very interesting, show today. I decided to give my take on this show. Are you getting me, Dennis?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. What happened? You were invited to the ANC, convention. I don't know how they call that, but the way you were treated, even though there have been some sort of, miscommunication, maybe not receiving information on time, but the fact is that I want to believe that they're all kind of cajoling you, focus on Liberia, because they want a new brand to promote them. But, they don't have time for anybody that associate with, more especially when you try to be more neutral. And you guys have one of the best Liberian show, a program. both of you guys are very excellent. There's no one flattering you guys. And what the fellow said that Dennis or Ansony, you guys know how to play your devil's advocate. You know, even though I know Ansony very much tough on the president and the CDC, but you guys try to always be neutral to, you know, propagate the message accordingly. But I want to believe that the only one there that will Liberia focus on Liberia there and others to make them their program to look very better. But I want to believe those people have a very deep hidden agenda towards the rest of the Liberian people, the rest of the country. Even though there are some other few rural boys associated with that, but I want to believe that a new form of Congo elitism they are establishing, having some of the natives to join them, and those new natives who join them want to believe that they are Congo people now want to live that a way of life. Okay, it's up to them. But
I didn't see that one. Teddy, I didn't see that when I went there. I didn't see Concord. I say I didn't see Concord native, Concord elite, native elite. I didn't see that.
Well, that's what those people is always about.
All right.
But I don't think I want to have this as a debate or argument on this.
All right.
But
Thank
the fact
you.
is that we, as the rest of the Liberian people, you know, we will engage those people intellectually. There's no longer going to be any form of violence. We'll engage them all the way 2023 intellectually. But I want to believe that they have no other hope, but they will be the ones that will come up with problem in the future because as I'm speaking to you, the president of Liberia is doing everything possible to make the Liberian people happy.
I knew where you were going with this. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you. All right, Mr. Sieh.
Dennis, thank you.
On these phone lines.
Dennis, thank you for taking the calls on my behalf. Thank you so very much. And I listening to the callers. Folks from ANC have called, and it's good that they call, right? And some of them called. They said they wanted to provide clarification. I think it was Rosalind Cooper who said we should quote Mr. Cummings correctly. Mr. Cummings said, if you're not those who are supporting me and not following me, maybe she's not a political person. In politics, when somebody says this person is supporting me, this person is following me, those two actually mean the same thing. So for us to say we're saying something completely wrong, she completely missed it. The other thing about the Cummings speech, and I think it's the same Rosalind or one other ANC member or who called, said, hey, it was not a political event, so Cummings, could not be more political. Oh, but he was political. He talked about Georgia, right? He talked about when you follow me, it's about chopping. He said a lot of things that were political. Saying this event was more like a fundraiser. He should not have made political statement in any shape and form. And even the politician that he invited, the guest speaker, he's a politician. He's a mayor of a city. He contested in a Senate race. I listened to him. He spoke. He was also political, right? And there's a confusion here, Dennis. The ANC people, they say ANC-Global is an auxiliary that is raising funds to support ANC. They really need to do a big job. I mean, I will follow this thing, and sometimes I get confused. One is ANC-Global and which one is ANC? But I always see the ANC, the political party. Now, when you ask them, what is the ANC website? They send you ANC-Global website.
Right.
ANC, the political party, does not have a website as you speak. That is a shame to all of them. I have been on this thing, and some of them don't know what the guy doing their website business. It is a shame to them as we speak when you ask them for ANC, the political party website. The very ANC people who are in ANC Global, they will send you ANC Global's website because they know that's the only one they have. Why are they confusing us? And when you go on the ANC Global website, the ANC Global website has political issues. They raise the issues that are in Liberia, and they are saying the ANC Global is not political. But go on their website and look at where they have issues. They raise the issues that are affecting Liberia today. Yeah. Why are they doing this thing? I'm not saying it's not their right to have an institution that is an auxiliary of the political party, but don't tell us you're not political. Do not tell us that when you have political activities on your website and you're inviting politicians, they are speaking, and you say, oh, I mean, I don't just get it. Maybe they need to do a better job on that. We want to see the ANC that is telling us, the Liberian people, that it is the alternative to show us their plan for Liberia. Unity Party does not have a plan anywhere. Nowhere you can see the Unity Party's plan as we speak. And then the ANC that is saying it is the alternative. Mr. Cummings is different. Mr. Cummings' party, the ANC, does not have a plan on a website. I'm not angry with the ANC and the folks in the ANC, but it is my role as the media person to ask the questions so that when you say you will do better for our country, for you to do it. If I don't knock on your door every day, you will get complacent, because complacency is in the DNA of so many Liberians. And somebody have to ask the hard questions. So to the ANC people who have kind of, some of them, I like what they did, like Bowman, he accepted the criticism. Even if we disagree with some, he said, we accepted, we'll make correction. But then there's another caller that came and said, Tevinaco has a preconceived notion. Then it has made a very good assessment here that is balanced, that you can see yourself in the mirror, something that other people will not do publicly. You are a public institution, for Christ's sake, so publicly we'll be able to hold you accountable so that you can do it better for Liberia that we should promise. Your party does not have any bold ideas as we speak, and will continue to ask the questions, and that is in your best interest, and pretty much, or on a greater level, in the interest of Liberia, for whom you say you are doing all this thing. And that is all we are doing. We don't have any personal issues with you. Dennis?
No. Yeah, Mr. Sieh, you are right. Sometimes people don't know these things, and then for us, it's hard to take criticism, especially if somebody doesn't take you behind the house, right? We always want to hang here. And that's why, even when the CPP hullabaloo, they call it, was going on, we didn't try to fault Mr. Ure, People say, well, why Mr. Ure, he got his whistleblower from the Election Commission. Maybe he should have gone behind the house to talk. No, he brought it in the open. Let's talk this thing in the open. Enough of that behind the house. So that's why we come here. I know it's hard for some people to take the criticism. In fact, there are people here calling me sedition. They say, Dennis, we know you are sedition because you call. I've been called ANC too. They say the man, a Cummings man, they're from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So most of the time, and then there is this one comment here. In fact, somebody is asking me, he say, hey, you say you went there as guest, why you wanted to interview the chairman, those kind of things. So, and this comment from Sieh say there's difference between criticism and misinformation. In other words, maybe she's trying to imply that what we're saying is misinformation. But the goal here is we want people to take it, whatever way they can, they understood it. But I personally have been engaged in this thing for some time now.
Oh, yeah.
This is my blog. You can visit that blog. You'll see some of my views from 2005. As a teenager, I was writing my first article appeared in the paper in 1988. I was in 12th grade. I wrote Stop Malawala Balawala on TV. During the war, I was in Guinea as a refugee school teacher. I was writing under the pen name Tane Chiwule. My mother's name is Tane. My name is Chiwule. So I was writing under that pen name. So my articles are there. One I remember was when Ulimo appointed Alhaji Kroman as his representative to be, I think, finance minister. I wrote an article that I was disappointed at Mr. Tappe. So the article read was disappointed at Tappe. So I have followed these things all my life. And I have an opinion and will continue to share it no matter where it falls. Because as I said, these are life and death issues. I felt the war. Go on my blog and read about, there's an article there I wrote, my first dive into rebel territory. Another one says the road to Fendel. When we walk from Bannersville to Fendel, what happened? Another article there say a miry Christmas. There was the Christmas day 1992 that I spent in Kings, number 7. It's called Kingsville. I spent in Kingsville. I felt the war to its core. I suffer as a refugee. I know what I'm talking about. So I look at these issues as life and death, and I'm passionate about them. And we're going to be as balanced as possible to present our country and those things. No hard feeling. Let's continue to make Liberia proud. That's all I'm saying here.
And Dennis, you're listening to the last caller there. If I'm not mistaken, that's the last caller said, we know you guys are the the best platform. I'm paraphrasing him. And you guys are balanced and fair. And he ended with, I know Mr. Sieh has been very, hard on President Weah of the CDC and also Vice President Joseph Imambuaka. And what he didn't say is, whether or not I have been very tough on the ANC. And I want to acknowledge here that I have not been as tough as I always try to be on anybody. When it comes to the ANC, I've been a little bit like holding back. My reason is obvious. The ANC as a political institution has not been given the opportunity to serve. The CDC has, the Unity Party has. So that is why I am tougher on them. I have reached a point now that I'll be tougher on the Unity Party because that's the mistake we make collectively as a people, right? People won't come to power, we get them a little slack, and then when they come to power, and yet they are. So I will be tough on the ANC because they have some record now of running. This is coming second time running. This is the ANC second time coming into the political contest. They need to get it right. And if they don't appreciate somebody for being a little tougher on them, that will, make them stronger to do better, then they don't really mean well for Liberia. Nobody's going to sing their song because I don't sing song for people. I criticize people. That's my job.
Thank you. Few comments here I want to put on the screen. Sam Wallowed, but Dennis, you had comments on the show not too long ago, and you did not ask him the key question you are complaining about today. Well, it's one interview, it's 1 hour. We can't ask every question. So I asked those ones that I needed to, and there was a plan for him to be back so that we could go into the specific about his plan. We're still working on that. Hopefully it's going to work. Charles, Reverend Martin said, Dennis was not balanced. I have never made a statement antithetical to Mandingos. That's a lie. You need to correct that, Reverend Martin. Reverend Martin, I heard the statement I was talking about is your interview with Mark Jabate when you asked him for his birth certificate. If you say that was doctor, that was not you, I can't prove it, but I watched it on Spoon. That you asked him for his birth certificate, and he asked you about your marriages and all that. So I'm saying asking for a Mandingo person who says he was born in Nimba for a birth certificate is a dog whistle for the anti-Mandingo rhetorics. Anthony Mariah Yakula said, what is the goal? And your statement you started with, the goal here is, what is the goal of this? Giving a feedback on your convention, Mariah. That's all.
All right, Dennis. At this time, we will come to the end of this broadcast. Here, I focus on Liberia, where we educate, we elevate, and promote all things Liberia. I'm Ansony Sieh, and this is the Hour of Politics. Dennis, so let's get your concluding statement, and maybe that's the question Mariah is asking. What is the end goal of all this? Maybe she's wondering what's the point of this anyway. So let's get the reason why you have to do that in summary, at least 1 minute if you can.
Right. And again, I said, anybody who wants to be, okay, let me put this other one there. You say, don't mind Dennis is seeking viewership. Okay, so anybody who wants to be president, we got to scrutinize them, right? We got to, talk about it. I attended the ANC convention, and I think I owe it to the ANC and the Liberian public to say, hey, I went there. Here's my feedback, and I had to make it public. Dr. Sawyer once said, this whole Liberian thing of hanging hay, let hang hay. Oh, I call you, I said, oh, this is your convention for XYZ. So I thought I had to bring it out. And it's not the ANC alone. If I were to attend a Bwaka convention, it would be the same. If I were to attend BWI convention, it would be the same. Or, we dance a tutu party. If you want to, is that all we do? We have the bar. I saw Sirag, I saw Leko, people standing up, and we dress. And, Liberians are very good people. I'm saying I need a little more political speeches, and I call people I wanted to hear from. So again, the goal, that's the goal. Just let's talk. We're talking politics here every time. And the ANC Global, they have reached out to FOL. the committee wants to come here and talk about the convention, and we have accepted, and so hopefully that's in the work. We have invited the chairman, and after the convention, he promised he's going to be here, and so we decided to make this public. Here is our position. This is what we saw. Come and prove us wrong. We want a convention committee come, and let's talk. We discuss it. We are all Liberian people. We are one people. Let's discuss. And one reason, I went at I attended a convention. People say, because when they see you there, they say, oh, you go to the convention, you ANC, you go to CDC convention, you CDC. That's rubbish. As a Liberian, as someone doing the job I'm doing, I will go to wherever I'm able to go to meet Liberians, to interact with them, and then we share ideas. And I'm very 100% sure that this show tonight is going to help somebody. Maybe it's going to make ANC-Global a better organization, or make Mr. Cummings a better leader. We don't, at Focus on Liberia, we don't shy away about talking about the issues and providing solutions. Because if Mr. Weah hear this and do something that will benefit our country, we'll be happy. We suffer too much. We're supposed to be leading the country now at our age and education and experience, but here are we, I would say, stranded in exile. Okay, the country is in the hands of people that some of them don't know their left from their right. What can we do? We can't fight. We can't do anything. We got to keep talking, and that's what we are doing. I want to thank all of you for listening. To those who took my feedback, the wrong way or the right way, I'm not 100%. I may be looking at things the wrong way. I don't know everything. I don't even know half of what I'm supposed to know. Some of it I even forgot. So this was my way of giving you a public feedback, and I may not be 100% correct, but I do my best to give you what I saw and what I think can be the way forward. Thank you for taking it. Thank you for challenging me. Keep hold us accountable and let us be balanced. It's because of you that we are here. So keep doing what we're doing, and let's continue the conversation.
Thank you so very much, Dennis Jav, for accepting the invitation to come here on the Hour of Politics with me, Ansony Sieh. I am the guy who you think knows nothing. My job is.
Mr. Sieh, you mind for me to share my some commercial here briefly before you come in?
Okay, please.
All right. So this weekend, ULA is going to be having a town hall. That's the Liberian Refugee Immigration Fairness virtual town hall. So they will have experts. They give Liberians time to apply to regularize their status. Those that were on TPS. The time is it's fast approaching. December 20, 2021 is the deadline. So it's less than a month away. So ULA is having this town hall to further educate people.
Let's go back to where it all started. Come reunite, relocate, and rebuild the land, which has so much more to offer. Join us on our charter flight, leaving New York on December 17th, returning on January 3rd. It's a direct flight to Liberia for only $15.99. That's right, I said it, $15.99. Our gift to you as we kick off Liberia's bicentennial. But you must hurry. Tickets are going fast. The last day to purchase tickets is this Friday, November 26th. Again, the last day and final day to purchase tickets is this Friday, November the 26th. See you aboard the flight.
Thank you so very much. Before I give my closing statement, let's introduce the station and tell people what we do here.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jav.
And I am Ansony Sieh, the host of the Hour of Politics, and this is what I'm going to close with. We have a country that needs all of us. And we need leadership because we know what leadership can do. Leadership in the US arguably is better. So life is better here. We can say the same about Rwanda and maybe Ghana. And most European countries, they have better leadership. So things are better there. We can say that about China. They have better leadership, maybe. That's why things are better. Why is it different in our country? Is it our leaders are not doing better? Maybe yes. And that is why when we come here and focus on Liberia, when we tell you our goal is to educate, to elevate, and promote all things Liberia, we want the living standard of our people to be elevated, to be promoted, so that life can be worth living in our own country. To the political leaders, I have something to pick your attention and your supporters. For far too long now, the budget of Liberia is being divided based on ministries and agencies. 174 years have passed. We have gone nowhere. To Mr. Cummings and the ANC, can you promise us that when you come to power, the budget will be divided on the basis of counties? Can you promise us that? That is a big idea. That is a paradigm shift. Maybe if my grand crew get 10 million, I may go there to help with the educational system there. Maybe that will help us to start a new path in Liberia. Mr. Bwaka, when you become president, is that going to happen? To the supporters, is this something you can take to your political leader for us to try? The budgets have always been divided on the basis of ministries and agencies and the ministers, and all the branches of government, and they are all eating the money. Can we try something new this time? Where Grand Bassa get 10 million because it's a county, and Sieh as Grand Cruz, and Nimba, and all of the other counties, and their sons and daughters will go there to see how they can provide leadership to improve those counties, thereby generating a competition as to which county gets better schools, better sanitation, and you can name it all. Can we get that? Is that a bold idea? Of course it is. Will these politicians even talk about it? No, they will not. And their supporters come here and justify it for them. They make excuses from them. And you expect me to swallow it because your Cummings, your Bwaka, your Wea is better than my Liberia. And that is the thing I don't take. And you think I'm arrogant. I love when I'm being called arrogant in that manner. I'm Ansony Sieh, the host of the Hour of Politics, and this is how we will come to the end of the show with our song, We Are All Liberians. It's a nationalistic song. I love this song. I encourage you to listen to it for just 1 minute before you go home tonight. Thank you for watching. Until we catch you, we say bye-bye.
We are Liberians. Liberia.